We're back on another episode of Elevate Car Rentals. You know, Demario here, and we have over a couple hundred cars now. And I like to bring people that's in the industry doing something special. So we're going to break it down. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and we can kind of get into everything.
What's up, y'all? My name is Kel King. On Instagram, I am Kel King. I have the #1 car rental business in Los Angeles. I'm currently making over $50K a month. Also, I'm an actor. Catch my movie on Amazon Prime called The Christmas Dance with Master P.
Let's get it. Okay, so let's hop right into it. So the number one in LA. All right, you know we gotta break this down. So there's a lot of people in the car rental industry. Some people think it's oversaturated. I'm curious to think on in LA. Do you feel like there's an oversaturation, and like, is there anything that you're doing specific to like go, be above the competition, or how do you look at competition in the area?
So I do completely private rentals, and I rent out to rideshare drivers and delivery drivers. And I feel like even though I have over 50 cars, there is no oversaturation, right? If you go to LAX airport right now, they'll say, and you go to Enterprise, they'll say, oh, we're booked out. So there's no oversaturation. And how I really like stay above my competition is just really providing that next level of service. So I make sure that like we always have that customer service for my customers. And then also hiring people for SEO, for ads, just really investing in my business, not being cheap and just not really going in and going hard for your business.
Okay. So I wanna get to the delivery drivers, because I haven't heard that in a minute. But are you saying like DoorDash and like those type of delivery
Exactly.
drivers? What was the first car?
Man, so this was back in the pandemic in 2020. My very first car was a black Nissan Sentra. I'm like, okay, I just want to build up my credit. Let me get one car. I'm like, I don't want to pay for this car though, right? So I started off, I put it on Turo. And then what happened was I left my rates too low on Turo. Somebody booked it for like 2 months for the summer. And that's, in the summer for Turo, that's when you make your bread.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't let that happen. So what I did, I just called him like, yo, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I can't let this booking go through. So
that was your first booking?
Yeah, it was not my first booking, but like one of my first initial bookings.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm like, we can meet in the middle. Like, I need more money than that, so we could just do a private rental. And they was cool with that. They paid me like $3K for like 2 months.
They paid you $3K up front?
Yeah, up front.
Okay,
he was an intern. Okay. Yeah. So he had the bread, and he just trusted me, I guess, because I already had the reviews on Turo.
That's good. Okay, so that's interesting. See, most people would have let it ride that 2 months. So How did you know that? You just looked at the numbers like, yeah, no? Or like, how did you know to even do that? That's interesting. I like it.
I mean, I've always had like a creative mindset when it came to business, like even before the car rentals, right? When I was in undergrad, I threw parties and events at a very high scale where the club was just packed out. So I've always like had that creative mind. And the biggest thing about throwing parties, people think it's glamorous, but it's not. It's like you're solving problems. So that was just a transferable skill I had from throwing parties into the car rental business.
That's good. Okay, so you got the 2 months. Okay, so you just have one car, right?
Yeah,
at the time. Yeah. So when did you start getting more cars? Because now you're up to 50?
Oh, yeah, I'm up to 50 right now.
Okay, so when did you start being like, okay, this is working. Now let me put the foot on the gas?
Oh, when I get that first amount of bread from that one guy I booked privately, I'm like, okay, if I could do this with this one guy, let me just get more and more cars. So I just kept going and adding on. And then other people seeing like what I was doing, and they started to wanted to invest into my fleet. So just with me keep adding on and investing into my own fleet, and other people investing, it just scaled up pretty fast.
Okay, so you started doing like co-host deals?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Joint ventures, yeah.
Yeah, joint ventures. Okay. So out of the fleet now, out of 50, how many, are you doing any cash cars?
Oh yeah, right now, as of now, all my cars are cash cars. I did start off financing, but really the best way is cash cars for sure.
That's good. Did you learn like when you first so the first car was financed?
Yeah, it was financed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you just learn like, man, I'll get better profit margins on like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because think about it, when you go to Enterprise or Hertz, right? You might get a 2021 Nissan, but then that 2015 Nissan has the same exact body style. So I might as well just, exactly what I do, go to Facebook Marketplace, buy that car for super cheap for $4,000 or $5,000, and not have to worry about, my back end numbers.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. That makes sense. I noticed that a lot with like a lot of people putting brand new cars on Turo, and I'm like, the average consumer doesn't care if it's a 2019 or a 2025, and it's the same. It's a very similar body, so that's good. That's good. So now you're at 50 cars. You do co-hosting, and you do the private rental. So do you even do anything on Turo at all?
No, I'm like zero. No, not on Turo at all.
Okay.
I still have my what is the All-Star account? I still have that, but no, I haven't.
Do you do any like marketing on there to pull people off or anything?
Nope, no marketing.
Let's get it. Okay. So now if you're in a space and I'm sure you built a clientele, you've been into it, but what was like how were you marketing when you first started like doing private rentals besides the Turo guy, right?
Oh, so that's a really good question. I did use HireCar at first. That was a really, really, really good like lead generator. But of course, you got to stay ahead of the curve because, as we know, HireCar is out of business. So, in the midst of me using HireCar, I also use Facebook Marketplace. I list my cars there, and if you list your cars there correctly, you'll get thousands and thousands, like legit thousands of leads.
Okay, that's good. Are you doing anything with as far as like lead tracking? So after you get the lead like on Facebook, are you pinning it into any system or anything like that?
Yeah, so I really just, because I have virtual assistants, and I just have them just say like, mark down like, okay, where did this lead come from? Did it come from Facebook Marketplace? Did it come from ads? Did it come from SEO? Was it a referral? I definitely got to track that. You got to know your numbers for sure, for sure.
That's good. That's good. And it's free marketing on Facebook Marketplace. So that's good. So now you have some mentees now. Tell me a little bit about like the program. And I know you did 0 to 9 cars in 90 days you helped a student. So kind of run me through that. How's that work?
Man, so it's been going crazy. Really, when you start doing this, a lot of people just keep having questions and have questions and have questions. So that's why I decided to get into the whole mentorship lane. And one of my mentees is actually a friend he's one of my homeboys, but he's a rapper as well. So he's seen how much money I was making with the cars. So he called me up one day like, yo, I'm ready to get busy. I'm ready to get started. I'm like, all right, cool. Like he sent me the money for it. It was like a Friday and then Saturday. And I told him like how to get his first car. I'm thinking like he's going to take like maybe a month. Very next day, he already had his first Ford Fusion. I'm like, okay.
Ran the play.
Moving here, ran the play. And in 90 days, he already had 10 cars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you're teaching them like different strategies and how to get their cars. Probably one of the most important things besides marketing.
Exactly. You want to have a clean title. You can grab it from Facebook Marketplace. You want to make sure you make your money back in 3 months max. So I say max, and that's on the high end, $6K. And like I said, mainly Facebook Marketplace. Have a mechanic come out, check out the car, and like I said, a clean title.
Boom. I like that. So now you have mentees. I like that. So when you got into the space, did you like learn this from anybody? Did you just learn on the job? Did you watch podcasts and see people doing it? How did you like even come about, being successful?
Sure, yeah. So I had a mentor who taught me the game, the ins and outs. And I think that's a lot of people they don't think about it. They're like, oh, I'll just YouTube it, or I'll just go on Facebook. Because I had somebody actually tell me, like, oh, I don't need no mentorship. But no, you actually do need mentorship. Just like if you were to start a new job somewhere, even if you had a degree for that job, they're going to still train you on how to be successful in that industry and in that position. And that's the same thing with the cars or anything else you do in life.
Yeah, that's key. That's key. And your mentor should have or had a mentor when you're really doing it. Because if not, it gets sticky. How are you handling, like, most people are scared to, like, how do I vet clients? How do I get into that process? Because my big thing when I first started Turo was like, okay, well, if I go to private rental, because most people think Turo is the safest bet, which if you just start, it gives you certain things. What are some procedures that you have when you're going through the process?
So some procedures I have is just really the great thing about Uber and Lyft, they already vet the driver for you. So you ask them like, hey, send me your rideshare profile. You can see that they've cleared a criminal background check, and then they've cleared a DMV check. Another thing you can ask them to send you is like their payout history. So if they've been driving each and every week and been making $1,000 a week, they're going to do the same in your car when they get your car, versus if they do send in their numbers, how much they made, and they've only made like $5,000 in the whole year, then you probably want to deny that person. And me just doing that, it's night and day versus for somebody that's a great renter that's going to rent my car for a year and a half versus somebody who's going to rent it for 2 days and be a disaster.
So if I came to you and I just started, let's say I haven't even started. Maybe I just did the background check, but I'm like, oh, I don't have any history because I just want to get into this. I want to rent your car and try it out. Do you let people try it out, or are you just like, nah?
Nah, okay. I need to see that history. I need to see that you made some. It's just like when you go apply for an apartment, they want to see a recent like bank statements or pay stubs. So my program is a similar way.
That's good. That's good. You definitely have to vet your renters. Okay. So I mean, everybody in the rental car industry, all right, we got a lot of horror stories. Man, we gotta know some of these horror stories. So
man, I got plenty.
Listen, my family's from LA. And
yeah, you already know.
Yeah, so I'm already knowing there's some stories for show here.
So this was when I was earlier on in the rental car industry, and you take a few gaps and pretty much I didn't properly vet this lady. I knew she was kind of sketchy. I met her after dark. It was just all bad. And she paid in cash.
Yeah.
Which is low-key another red flag, low-key. So she had the car for a week. I called her next week like, yo, are you ready to renew the car? She's like, yeah. I'm about to renew right now. I'm about to send the money right now. And I call her back an hour later. She didn't say nothing. The car is in the same spot at the gas station. And then I look at my GPS like a few hours later, and it's in the tow yard.
Oh.
So I go to the tow yard, and they're like, yeah, she left the lady who had your car, she left it over like a gas panel. And we had to tow the car from there. She just left it. She just fled. So I open up the car doors and I find out she's like this big scammer. She had like a credit card machine maker. She had like fake checks, like all these crazy like tools and mechanisms I've never seen.
No.
But when you have those crazy like cases, you just really learn how to vet better because you just learn from those lessons. There's really no else. You learn from it. And that's why I vet so well nowadays.
So she was...
complete.
Does she even does she drive the car?
Yeah, she drove it to do licks.
To do the licks.
Yeah,
bro, you be surprised how many people like we're not, but like people be surprised at how many people get cars to go rent out to go do that stuff.
For sure.
That's crazy. And then it got towed.
Yeah,
so you had to go to the tow yard and like.
And I paid like $500. They upcharged me. I actually talked them down a little bit. They wanted to charge me even more. I told them my situation, so they charged me like $400. So it was a mess.
Interesting, because like our Cali location, that's like we don't really have to deal with that in Vegas, like getting cars towed like that. So in Cali, in certain areas, cars are getting towed left and right
all the time.
And I'm assuming you've been to the tow yard sometimes.
Plenty of times.
You go there and you try to negotiate the rates.
Oh yes, you always negotiate, always negotiate, no matter what, always. But like I said, nowadays I don't really have to deal with all the crazy stuff because. If you stick to the plan and you properly vet, it's just everything is on autopilot.
Yeah, that's good. I like the driver history thing because most people in Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and all these things, they need to make the money. So they have a higher need for the vehicle than a tourist, or they have a higher need of the vehicle because they're doing business, and then they get to drive the car when they're not doing business. So it really helps. Exactly. So with the DoorDash drivers and the other apps that they're using, are you doing the same thing? I need to see some history.
Absolutely. I need to see that payout history. And then also another big factor I use is just my gut. Like, of course, I'm gonna have like an objective way to evaluate people. Like, also they have to be over the age of 25. But I just have a conversation with them on the phone. And if they sound thorough and they've checked out on the numbers, that can make or break if I'm still gonna put them in my car or not.
Yeah. Do you have people reach out social media wanting to rent cars?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Social media. Yeah, that's a big lead generator for sure.
The vetting process on social media. We have people that listen, if your name is crazy on social media talking about gang and the plug, I'm like,
no, I'm good.
Bro, I can't rent a car to you. I'm doing a little background on you. It's crazy how many people, how much you can learn about a person by talking to them on the phone. They call yo, and they just start. You're like, bro, come on. And they start, I don't have an ID. And you're like, come
people tell on themselves. They'll tell on themselves every time. Like, yeah, I don't really have no ID. They'll be like, oh, I'm going, because I'm in LA. I'm going to Vegas for the weekend, but I don't allow out of state. They'll tell on themselves. You'll be very surprised. That simple 5-minute conversation.
Do you just let them talk? Like, you
I'll let them just Blabber away. Go ahead. What you tell me? Go ahead. Let me know.
There we go. I like that. Okay. So have you had many instances of like people coming with like fake ID or like fake insurance? Like how do you mitigate that?
Oh, that's a really good question. I actually have like a ban list for like Southern California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. It's like an internal thing with like other like rental car hosts.
Because
this is actually one of my other mentees that helped get into the game. I helped him repo this one car from this one guy. It was actually where he had to repo the customer when they're actually in the car, which never really happens. So I knew the person, but the person didn't remember my face. So exactly a year later, the guy tried to rent for me, like through my fleet, but he didn't remember me. I'm just talking to him. I'm like, who is this? And then it just all clicked. So of course I denied him, and that's when I started the whole like group of the ban list, because man, it goes a long way.
So you checked him before, right?
For sure. Have
so you just happen to remember this guy when he was gonna come pick the car up?
Yeah, I didn't even remember who he was. He sounds so professional on the phone.
Yeah.
And then when I seen him in person, I'm like, I know him from somewhere. What? I'm like, because I've been in LA for a few years, so I'm like, maybe I don't know. And then I'm looking at the mannerisms and the stories. Oh, when it really clicked, he did one of these. He was like, oh, I'm about to send you the money right now. I'm about to call my accountant. I'm like, bro, for an Uber car? They about to send the money over via Zelle. And then he had on his phone, accountant. And he did one of these, like, hello? Yeah. All right, yeah, send the money. But he still didn't send the money. I'm like, oh no, red flag. And then that's when everything started to click. I'm like, okay, I knew exactly who this is.
That is hilarious. That
characters out there.
Bro, people really try. We had someone Photoshop a picture of an ID in their hand, and it looked all messed up because we're like, all right, cool, take a picture of you holding it, and it was all messed up. I'm like, man, this guy went through all the trouble to Photoshop a ID in his hand. People do a lot of stuff, especially with fakes. Okay,
for sure.
Have you had to run in with? I've had so many stories of people having to run in with like their cars getting impounded, but not by the tow trucks, like regular tow trucks, by like police impound. Has any of your cars wind up in police impound?
Luckily for me, no. But I've had little like police instances. Like I got some letter in the mail. It was like the sheriff's department. It was like, hey, your car was involved in a crime, but they knew it wasn't me from the footage and the nature of the crime. Good. They're like, hey, did you want to come in and speak on this? And we appreciate it so much. So that is a possibility. That's why I recommend for like your rental car business to put the address on the registration as your like office address versus your home address. Because I have heard of people, the police coming to their door. So I haven't had that happen, but that's why I put the registration address for my business address.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Okay. So if somebody's like, I come to you, I think LA is a big place to like rent cars. I think there's a lot of demand. So if I come to you and I'm like, okay, I want help getting my first car, how would you like tell me, hey, here's a couple steps that you could take to get your first car and get started?
For sure. So it's a lot of different options to get your first car. So a lot of people are like, I don't have the cash, that's fine. But one thing you do have is social currency. Like you have access to people I don't know. That just because you're you, they'll rock with you. So it might be a friend or a family member that they have a car sitting around, and you can use that car and you can split profits with them. You can rent out that car and you split profits with them. Another way is, of course, using cash. Most of my cars I buy, like I just bought a car for $2,600. So that's one way to get your first car. Is like I said, the JV method, like a friend or family member, and 2, cash. Or you can use credit. I say that with like an asterisk. Just make sure it's a 0% interest credit card, and you're making your money back in 2 to 3 months with the car anyway. So you just make sure you pay back that debt. And then another way, which I don't recommend, but just giving everybody all their options, is to finance the car. But the back end numbers can get tricky. But always say cash or like partner up with somebody.
Yeah, those are good. So out of your fleet now, how many do you co-host compared to like how many you own?
I co-host about 15 of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and people just seen what you started doing.
Oh yeah. People. Yeah. I post every day, so people they'll get curious at first. Like, okay, this looks cool. This sounds cool, but then they'll keep seeing you going, your fleet growing, and they just want to have that sense of safety and commitment from you.
Yeah.
And then there's one day they'll just call you like, okay, I'm ready to send the money now, and it happens. So
do you help them like buy the car and stuff like that, or do they just buy the car and send it to you?
So a lot of people can send you the car, but as of recently, I have been buying cars for people. But you just want to make sure you just have full transparency with the person on like what to expect. That's a really, really big thing as far as like how soon they make their money back, the payouts, how the management process goes. Like, you don't want them like just blowing up your line every day. So you want to like, you can verbatim let them know like, hey, this is a passive situation. So you don't have to call me every day. Just let them know ahead of time like how your program works. But yeah, they send me the money now, I buy the car, and it's all good.
That's good. What is one thing that you feel like in the rental car industry that like big companies like Turo, Hire Car went bankrupt? So what do you think is like one thing, like if they were sitting here, because we've been on the platform, a lot of their CEOs, they don't got any of cars on the platform we do, right? Or we had cars on the platform. What is one piece of advice like you would give to like these bigger companies that are running cars or basically running the people that run the cars?
A big advice I would give to them.
What do you think one thing that they're doing like wrong, that they can highlight? You know,
I mean, I feel like on a positive side, the good thing is some good things they are doing as far as training people how to get into the car rental industry. Because a lot of people they're not going to do their own SEO, they're not going to do their own just management of everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like one thing they can do better is just like how much they take, like that percentage. Sometimes people just end up not making a profit. So if everybody's not making a profit, then they're going to pull from the platform.
Right.
And then also I think encouraging people maybe to get more cash cars, because a lot of people go out and finance cars and then they look a year down the line and they're $10,000 underwater still with their car and haven't made any money. So just maybe teaching people how to get cash cars.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. That's good because yeah, you're right. Like most of like on Turo, they're partnered with companies to finance for them. And that really makes me think, what's their demographic on their audience? Because they don't really talk to people that would be considered someone that has a bunch of cash. They're like, hey, you can go finance. But that cash car play or the cash car strategy, I think is really good. Okay.
Sure.
What do you think? Like, okay, so in the overall rental car industry, you've been into it. What's like one piece of advice that you wish you knew when you first started?
I feel like I had the advice I would say is it was really just me just learning how to just follow the rules better. I feel like so many people, and this is including me, we're like all low-key arrogant. Like we'll get all the best information in the world. It could be YouTube, it could be a mentor, it could be this and that, but we're only taking like 75% of that, right? So then me taking that 75% of the information, that's how I ended up with the scammer lady in my car. Or just like the system not working out for me. When I got closer to that 100%, that's how now I'm in a position where my cars are out, I get paid on time, I can have a larger fleet, and it just runs like a well-oiled machine. So I would just say just humble yourself and listen closer to whoever is your mentor or your information source.
Good. Yeah, that's key, man. I feel like 75%, that's true. You know, people start freestyling. You take your advice and like, let me freestyle that a little bit instead of just following the plan. Because most of the stuff is really just step 1, step 2, step 3. We're like, I'm going to go from step 2 to step 5 because I know I could do this.
And you start seeing that money in your face. You're like, all right, I got this car sitting here. Oh, they do say they have 400 or 500. I could, that would be kind of nice. And all right, I'll just give it to them. It should be all good. And you happy, the money there. And then next week, your car and you got, what's the name, tow yard, and you paying that 400 or 500 they gave you to the tow yard. So it's like, you're going to X out that bread.
Yeah. Do you charge how much do you charge for deposits, or do you do deposits when someone like gets one of the cars?
So me, I only do $100 for my deposits.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's not really for like to fix anything on the car because those cars are so cheap to fix, but it's really more so for like accountability from the renter. Because what I found is a lot of people, if you don't do a deposit, even that simple $100, they'll be done with the car and they'll be like, come pick up your stuff. I don't want this car no more. Versus that $100, oh, they want that $100 back. So they'll bring the car back, no problem. And it works like magic. It's like night and day.
Yeah, that's good. That's true. just the small commitment changes.
Yeah,
Because if it's
real.
free, man, there's no deposit. You're right. They're like, oh, what can you do?
Yeah.
Besides, you can't really charge me.
Mm-hmm.
So are you doing are you doing cash pay and stuff like that, or are you sticking to credit cards, or are you sticking to just like Cash App, Zelles?
Oh yeah, no credit cards. No, you're not gonna get me with the chargeback. No. So I only do Zelle and cash. Some people do Cash App or like Chime. You can do that, but I don't recommend you doing that because you run the risk of like a chargeback on there. Long story short, so just really certified funds with Zelle or cash.
You had chargeback on Cash App?
Yeah, people can do that. It's not as common, but if they
did they win the chargeback?
Well, I haven't had one, but I've heard of
Okay.
people having chargebacks on there. But it's even more messed up if they do a chargeback on Cash App, because Cash App will just close your account. You can't even dispute it. They're going to take all your money. So that's even worse than like Stripe. At least Stripe will let you dispute it.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting. Yeah, I've had my fair share of processors burned down.
mm-hmm.
That's good. So now let's talk about some of the the wins in the rental car industry.
Sure.
What's your longest rental?
Oh, Lord. Jesus. Woo. I want to say 2 years.
Jeez.
Somebody kept the car for 2 years. They loved it. They paying that $450 a week with no problem. His name was Jaime. He kept the car for 2 years. And then they eventually just got their own car. And they was just appreciative that I was able to rent out a car to them because they were in a tough spot. And it just really went to help their family. So 2 years is like my longest rental. But bare minimum, most of my rentals are like 6 months. So I'll get that car and it's gone for 6 months.
Are you doing locked in contracts, or is it just like week to week?
Yeah, it's just week to week. It's week to week. But they're using these cars to make money. So they're going to keep it week to week versus somebody who's like on vacation or like their car didn't broke down.
How much did you pay for the car? 2 years of ROI is good. How much did you pay? Like, you must ROI pretty quick. How much did you pay? Do you remember how much you paid for that?
So like I said, the max I'm paying for a car is $6,000 because you got to have a 3-month ROI. Mm-hmm. But one of my recent cars, I only paid $2,600, and it's on the road right now. So I'm gonna make my money back in that car within like 6 to 7 weeks.
Wow.
But like most of my cars, I'm gonna make my money back in 10 weeks. So after that, everything's basically profit.
Boom. So how often are you like reinvesting into new cars as you go?
Oh yeah, constantly. Just that's another big factor. Like a lot of people, they'll just like, they'll get this money and be like, yo, let's just turn up with it. Like, no, reinvest that back into your brain. Right, I'm rich. Get out of here. Like, no, reinvest that back into your business so you can keep growing and growing and growing.
So do you have like a certain percentage that you're reinvesting in back to the business? Like, do you have a strategy, or is it just like the mindset of like, I gotta get a car. When can I get a car? I'm gonna get a car now.
Yeah, I'm a little obsessive when like I'm into something. So like I'll just keep reinvesting. Like I'm like, I haven't got a new car this week. All right, let me go car shopping.
Yeah,
That's definitely me. So
that's good. I like the cash cars. I started with co-hosting. So, but then we started getting to cash cars and turning the co-host to cash cars, higher margins, and I think that's really good. So now, you helped to get the Mentee 9 cars, right? Because I want to go back to that. So how much are they making per month, do you think, after the 9 cars?
About $15,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's actually traveling right now. He went to Mexico City to just chill and travel. He's been out there for like 2 months, like just doing this thing, and his fleet just doing. I'm like, bro, when are you coming back? I've been low-key hitting him up, like, you need me to run some of your cars for you? You're like, nah, they good. They rented out. I'm like, man. So that's what I really love to see, especially in the city of Los Angeles. A lot of people come to LA and they're just like, oh, the city of dreams is going to be beautiful. But the dark side of LA is you see so many creatives just like crash out and not be able to live their dreams and go broke, and be able to just help so many different creatives just make money and sustain in LA and live their dreams. It's like, that's really why I do it.
That's good. Okay, so what's one thing that you really think is like the big hurdle? Like, so when you got into space, you started going all in. I call it like the first rental rush, because you get that rush when you're like, wow, I just got my car booked. Like, wow, it's quick, boom. And everybody gets it, and the ones that really win is the ones that keep reinvesting into their business. At like when you first got in, was there any mindset shifts before you had to like get into the space? What were you doing a little bit before, like saying, okay, I'm gonna get this car and I'm gonna try this. I got a mentor. I'm gonna try renting cars out.
That's a really good question. What happened with me before is I've been very blessed of being able to be good at a lot of different things. And you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So I was doing the cars, and that was a big focus. But it's like, all right, well, let me do e-com, and then let me do real estate, and let me do this. And now it's taken away from the cars. So the biggest mindset shift I had really was just sticking to those one or two things, which is the cars and acting for me. So just really just try to focus on those one, two things and just stay there. And that's why I've been in it for 5 years, and I'm gonna be in it to the end, really. So
did you think that it was gonna get this big? When you first started, you got the first car, you got the rental car rush. Did you say, I have a specific goal, or did you just like look up and like, oh, wow?
I knew I had the confidence to do something big, but I didn't know what it was going to be. But it did end up being a journey down the line that I discovered, like, okay, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. 'Cause I did test the waters. Like, and I know people that's killing it in all different spaces, but like the cars, I just seen that money just keep flowing in and flowing in, flowing in. I had to commit. It's just like a game of basketball, right? So like some people, they try to make the 3-point shot, and 3-point shot you might not make, but that layup, you gonna make that layup, and that's what the cash cards are for me. You gonna make the layup. So I had to fully just go in on it 110%.
That's good. It's interesting. A lot of people start with finance cars and they just get a bunch of finance cars, and they never really go to the cash cars. Which I'm like, you're not actually making money if you do the net,
No.
right? Because the gross, you're like, oh yeah, I got money in my account, and then the car payments hit. You're like, this looks a little different. It's negative. Like,
Yeah.
It really is very easy to get that. So what's the goal for you as far as like, let's just fast forward it in like 2 years? What would be like, here's the big goal that I want to hit, that like I'm striving for, and that you would be proud of hitting in 2 years?
I would say like probably even sooner, but like 200 cars in my fleet, expanding my mentorship program, and then just continue on acting, being a series regular. I think those are like my biggest 3 goals. Yeah.
200 cars. That's good. That's good. So are you going to have do you have a team in place now to help you do the 50?
Thank God. Whew.
There we go.
Yes, I have virtual assistants. They do the customer service. They do the admin for me. And then I also have a ground team now of 2 people they'll pick up a car, drop off a car. I actually had one of my team members go way out to, I live in Hollywood, go way out to Corona with me to go look at a car. And we got the car, and yeah, the team, man, your team is everything. I would just want to say with the team you pick out, you just want to make sure that like you're looking out for your team. And when you do hire people, try to hire 2 folks, if it's either a VA or somebody on the ground level, because one person might not work out, but at least you still have that other person there. So
that's good. That's good. So how long have you had the team in place?
So my virtual assistants, I want to say for at least like a year and a half, and then like my on the ground team for like 6 months. But really, most of the stuff you don't really. I've chose to have a ground team, but really you could really run everything by yourself initially, and then with the virtual assistants, they're so cheap. You could pay them like $30 an hour, because they're from the Philippines. But that's good money over there.
Yeah,
really good money over there. So yeah.
Do you have a problem with parking out there? 'Cause I'm thinking like LA, Hollywood, all these areas with the cars. Are your cars always gone? Do you have a lot that you're parking the cars at or anything?
Well, yeah, you already know the thing about Hollywood, the parking is crazy out there. They're like, man, relentless about citations and getting you towed. The great thing about my business is that the cars stay out for 6 months, a year. So even if a car does come back, it's getting booked out the same day. So my cars are at my customer house. Good. They're not at my house. So because they're booked out.
That's good.
That's what saves a lot of just parking space. But I do have a few parking spaces though.
That's good. Okay, so you have a decent turnover on a decent amount of cars just kind of staying out.
Yeah, no, actually it's 100%.
Wow.
Because I'm always building that wait list up. So even if we're booked out, my VAs are still calling at least 50 people a day and saying like, hey, we have these cars, we'll put you on a wait list. And they're just calling all day. Just the system just keeps going and going and going. So when you do have a car come in, same day, going back out.
Okay, let's talk about some of the bottlenecks. Like like when you first started, like give me a bottleneck that you like had to overcome, and then like what's a current bottleneck that you're like, okay, I gotta work through this so we can scale to the 200 cars.
I would say is before I had like virtual assistants. Like I see myself just stay at a certain number because I couldn't do everything by myself. You got to think about it. Like, I can make the contract by myself, then go rent out the car by myself, and then go clean the car by myself. Like, at a certain point, you really need that help there. So when I hired my virtual assistants, I have one doing all the administrative tasks, so like the contracts, and the other one on the phone. Because you can't be on the phone and making a contract and then going to clean the car. So just having at least starting off with that virtual team. And I feel like everybody should start off with a virtual team because it's so cheap. Like I said, you can get them for $3 an hour and hire them part-time. And that made a huge difference in my business. Like I said, anything you can do on a computer or phone, your virtual assistants can do, and it will just alleviate so much work for you. It's amazing, I swear.
So you hired the virtual assistant, and then you got the ground team.
Yeah, I got the ground team.
All the admin tasks when you're driving and like delivering a car. I'm sure somebody's texting you and calling you, verifying. Yeah. That's good. That's a good way to kind of to look at it. You know, some people start with the ground team, and then they're still doing a lot of the admin work. But definitely having somebody help you with that, the admin stuff is key. I think so. Yeah. I think so. Okay, that's good. So now that you got all this, you're doing with the mentees and all this stuff, there's just so many people talking about this rental car space. So I'm always interested, like, okay, you got the goal, you want to hit 200 cars, and, you know, I'm sure you'll expand your team. So when someone's starting and they're on Turo, because I had to talk to a lot of people on Turo, and there's always that little mindset shift that they need to do to get into private rentals, because I mean, I think it's a race to the bottom. You know, what is something that you like? What's one piece of advice? If I'm on Turo, this is the worst part. I think once people get about 10 cars, they see the money coming in and they're like, I'm making money. And I'm like, do the numbers, the net. And you're like, you're actually paying to do this. Like, this is a hobby at this point. What is one thing you would tell a person like that, because I talked to a lot of people that need their cars booked more and they're just still in this small little ocean called Turo instead of like expanding like into the actual rental car space?
Yeah, so I would tell them really is, of course, to do their numbers, but then also just, even if like what I do wasn't something they were interested in, still try different routes. So there's some people that just use their cars beyond just the Turo space. So if you wanted to use it for, say if you had like a luxury car, right? Maybe you don't want to rent it out to Uber driver. You can use that car for photo shoots. You can use that car for proms, video shoots. So don't just limit to like, hey, I just have to rent it out to a Turo guest that's going on vacation. Try different avenues for that car.
Yeah, just like stacking up on.
Yeah, like prom season is huge. And you have a nice car, and this prom, you could really rake up some bread where you don't even have to let somebody drive your car. You can hire a chauffeur, or you could be the chauffeur and just make so much money on prom season with your car versus purely relying on Turo.
I actually know someone that was doing that. That was doing the chauffeur strategy. And they were making a lot of money.
Tell you.
Because they're looking at different dynamics. That's good. I think that's very important, you know, in the car rental space, because the margins on Turo are a lot smaller. You're sharing so much. You're doing a lot of work. That's the thing. There's hosts that are running cars every single day, and they're getting crushed right now, and they don't have that mindset shift. But sometimes the baby steps can be a good thing. Okay.
Yeah. Even for me, I just finance the Escalade, and I don't plan on keeping it. I plan to actually, instead of renting it out, I'm gonna lease it out. Okay. So I'm gonna have somebody pay me probably about $10K, and then charge them a little bit over like the car note plus insurance, and then now I'm making consistent income for that car and staying with the same person instead of like, okay, Escalade went out for a few days, now somebody else has to get it. It's gonna be with that same person.
Okay, that's good. The lease, okay.
Yeah, lease instead of like, okay, this person's like, no, it's that one person, they're vetted, they're on the insurance, they're good, they paid me a substantial amount of money, and they're still paying me a amount of money each month, and that's such a better way than just keep renting out your luxury car. Because I get it, you might not want to, of course, put an Escalade out for, you know, DoorDash, makes perfect sense, but if you wanted to just do something that's less mileage and still like put it out there, I would just recommend like a lease and get like a big down payment and still charge them month to month.
That's good. So you're doing like a long term, like a year?
Yeah, 6 months to a year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that turnover be,
man, It's everything.
The turnover. You want to keep the cars out as much as possible.
As long as possible. I want the cars out and the money in.
Are they handling maintenance or are you handling maintenance? Like if I rent your car for a couple months.
Oh yeah, that's a really good question. So I still have them do a maintenance check, like every 30 to 45 days.
Okay, and then you guys handle the maintenance, or?
Yeah, I'll handle the maintenance just to make sure it gets done. Because some people, you don't make them do the maintenance, they'll let the tires go out. It'll be a check engine light on. Like nah.
They do not want to bring it in. They don't want to pay.
Nothing. Yeah. You even some renters. Even though they know we handle the maintenance, they still don't want to bring it in. They're like, I got stuff that no, you need to bring the car in. No, that light's on. No. And you tires bald. No. Like,
and you do that every 30, 45?
30 to 45, yeah. Like 45 is like my max. Like I need my mechanic to see that car and make sure it's good.
That's good because you can like look at the car as well to see if there's any sort of damage.
And yeah,
that's good. The check, because if you don't check in, and you 6 months later, you're going to get some surprises.
I'm telling you. But it also makes the customer feel like you actually care. When they know you care, they're going to like take care of the car. It's just like when you're at a job, right? If your manager is never there, you're about to just chill, be on your phone. Versus your manager is there all the time, you're like on your job, you're staying within the guidelines. And that's pretty similar to the person that's renting out your car or leasing out your car.
I like that. Okay. What's any comments or any last minute things that you want to tell somebody like, okay, I want to get started in this space and, I'm just still hesitant. Go ahead and let people know if they want to get involved into mentorship and learning from you and how they can find you.
For sure. You can find me online at I am Kelly King on Instagram. And if you DM me the word go, I'll give you my free ebook and my audio course just because you listen to my guy right here.
Let's get it. Listen, if you guys are in the rental car industry, tap in, and I'll see you on the next podcast.